There is always the version of a crisis the public sees, and then there is the version that lives quietly underneath it. In the case of Savannah Guthrie, the public version has been composed, measured, and heartbreakingly dignified. Cameras capture a steady voice, carefully chosen words, and the familiar professionalism viewers have trusted for years. But behind every public statement is a private reality no broadcast can fully reveal. When someone accustomed to delivering the news becomes the center of it, the emotional terrain shifts in ways most of us can only imagine. What the audience witnesses is strength. What they cannot fully see is the cost of sustaining that strength while carrying fear, uncertainty, and hope all at once. The real story is not just about a crisis unfolding. It is about a daughter navigating unimaginable pain while standing beneath relentless public scrutiny. A life built on composure. At 54, most people hope to stand on solid ground, especially after decades of demanding work. For Savannah, those decades were spent rising through one of the most competitive institutions in American media, NBC. She earned her place through discipline, intelligence, and a steady presence that viewers came to rely on each morning. Her role required more than reporting facts. It demanded warmth without bias, authority without arrogance, and resilience without visible strain. She balanced career milestones with motherhood, navigating professional storms while raising young children. By this stage of life, she had every reason to expect a measure of stability. Instead, she found herself facing something entirely different. The skills that built her career, the poise and control, suddenly became tools she needed not for journalism, but for survival. When crisis becomes personal. When news broke that her 84-year-old mother, Nancy Guthrie, had gone missing from her home in Tucson, the narrative changed overnight. What had been a respected broadcaster's life became a family's nightmare. Law enforcement confirmed an active investigation, and national attention followed immediately. For Savannah, reality split in two. Publicly, she remained composed, aware that every word could influence an ongoing investigation. Privately, she was a daughter grappling with fear no script could soften. The thought of an elderly parent facing danger is devastating under any circumstance. Experiencing that fear while millions watch magnifies it in ways difficult to articulate. The separation between professional presence and personal anguish became an invisible tightrope she had to walk daily. The weight of time and health. The urgency of the situation carried another painful layer. Nancy's age meant every hour mattered deeply. Any older adult facing unexpected stress faces heightened vulnerability, and that knowledge adds intensity to each passing day. While investigators worked carefully and methodically, a daughter waited with questions no one could immediately answer. Time in such moments feels distorted. Minutes stretch into hours. Days feel suspended between hope and dread. Savannah understood the stakes intimately, yet she continued appearing calm when addressing the public. That calm did not mean absence of fear. It meant discipline. It meant drawing on decades of training to ensure clarity instead of chaos. But the human heart does not pause simply because composure is required. Beneath measured words, anxiety inevitably lingers, pressing quietly against every breath. Strength learned. Early, Savannah's steadiness did not materialize overnight. It was shaped long before television studios and national headlines. Raised primarily by her mother after the loss of her father, she absorbed lessons about resilience and self-reliance early in life. Nancy encouraged strength, determination, and the belief that challenges must be faced head-on. Those teachings helped forge the woman the country admires today. Yet strength learned in childhood often becomes instinctive. When crisis strikes, it surfaces automatically. Instead of collapsing publicly, Savannah leaned into what she knew: focus, clarity, discipline. Viewers described her as courageous. They were not wrong, but courage sometimes looks quieter than expected. It can resemble someone speaking steadily while carrying a storm inside. The training that prepared her for professional pressure also prepared her to endure personal heartbreak without letting it fully show. The private daughter behind the public figure. Between statements and interviews, there were undoubtedly moments unseen by cameras, moments of exhaustion, reflection, and longing for reassurance. Savannah is not only a journalist, she is also a mother herself, holding her children close while worrying about her own. Parent must have intensified the emotional weight. Family crises tend to ripple outward, affecting generations at once. For someone accustomed to being the steady voice others depend on, allowing herself to fully unravel may have felt unfamiliar. The world sees polished composure. Close friends and family likely see the quieter vulnerability that surfaces when the lights dim. It is within those private spaces that grief and hope coexist most honestly. Strength does not cancel sorrow. It simply stands beside it, helping carry what feels too heavy to hold alone. The role of community and colleagues. Longtime colleagues from across the industry have spoken about Savannah's professionalism and heart. Veterans such as Tom Brokaw understand better than most what it means to deliver news under pressure. Their support, whether public or private, forms part of a wider community surrounding her. When someone who has spent years informing the public suddenly becomes the subject of headlines, colleagues often rally in quiet solidarity. That support does not erase fear, but it provides reinforcement. Knowing others stand beside you can steady trembling ground. Public figures may appear solitary when addressing cameras, yet behind them often stands a network of relationships built over decades. In moments like this, that network becomes a lifeline, offering perspective, reassurance, and sometimes simply the comfort of shared silence. The question beneath achievement, beyond the investigation and public updates, lies something more personal and universal. Many daughters, no matter their age or success, still long for their mother's reassurance. Professional accolades cannot replace the simple affirmation of unconditional love. Savannah's accomplishments are undeniable, yet crises have a way of reopening old questions about identity and belonging. Am I enough? Have I done enough? Those questions echo quietly, even in the most confident individuals. When a parent's safety is uncertain, the emotional pull intensifies. The desire to hear familiar words, to receive comfort instead of offering it, becomes deeply human. This dimension of the story does not make headlines, but it resonates widely. It reminds us that no matter how public a person's life becomes, certain longings remain profoundly private. Hope, humanity, and perspective. As days pass in any investigation, uncertainty becomes its own burden. Authorities continue their work carefully, and families hold on to hope with fierce determination. In Savannah's case, hope exists alongside responsibility. She must balance transparency with restraint, emotion with clarity. Watching her navigate that balance invites reflection about empathy. It is easy to admire composure from a distance. It is harder to imagine the emotional cost of maintaining it. Ultimately, this story is not only about headlines or updates. It is about a family longing for reunion, about resilience shaped over decades, and about love that persists even through fear. Beneath every broadcast image stands a daughter waiting, hoping, and believing that the person who helped shape her life will return safely.